Welcome back to another episode of ROC Boys Football. Today we are taking a look at a 2022 NFL mock draft from Trevor Sikkema of PFF. Came out today, the night we're recording, March 15th, so a little bit of free agency tied in. Let's jump right into it because we have kind of a little fiery debate coming up that came up in pre-show. Jacksonville Jaguars go get Aidan Hutchinson. Dill. Everybody sounds crazy until you're right. Where do you think they could go with this pick other than Aidan Hutchinson, if it's not a tackle either?
Okay, yeah, just to get this going. I think Aidan Hutchinson, perfectly fine pick. Would never quibble about it. But I don't think, given the situation, I don't think you as the Jacksonville Jaguars can go wrong taking Kyle Hamilton, straight up. I think Kyle Hamilton can be taken with every pick in this whole draft.
Trevor Sikkema agrees with you because I believe Kyle Hamilton goes to the Lions, which I vehemently disagree with.
Good for him.
I think, I don't mind as much at Detroit because Aidan Hutchinson's off the board, but if Aidan Hutchinson's on the board at number 2, and quite frankly, the Jacksonville Jaguars should not even be in the realm of taking Kyle Hamilton. You can't value a safety over an edge guy. You can get an elite edge rusher, Aidan Hutchinson. If anyone wants to call him not elite, I think you're wrong. Look at that 2021 film. The best football player in the country, our number 1 prospect. You can't go take a safety with just no positional value as the number 1 overall pick.
See, that's where I disagree. It's like, if you don't see Aidan Hutchinson as a Von Miller, as a Myles Garrett, as like if you don't see him as like that good, like all pro good, and that's fair. I think I kind of do see him as that good. That's why I don't disagree with the pick. But if you don't, I think it's a fair argument to say you don't see him panning out to be as good as those top end guys. I think then it's perfectly logical to go Kyle Hamilton if you think you can get a guy like an Ed Reed or a Troy Polamalu.
There's so many good safeties that you can sign for way cheaper than like those top edge guys from just like not that I'm a salary cap nerd by any means. I'd much rather go Aidan Hutchinson. The most important thing about a defense is being able to get after the passer. And that's what Aidan Hutchinson or a top edge guy brings. Kyle Hamilton, you can only do so much with. I think Kyle Hamilton's an awesome prospect.
No, that's where you're wrong. That's what you're forgetting about these elite free safeties. And we haven't seen one in a little bit, really, in my mind, since Earl Thomas. But when you have an Earl Thomas, you have a Troy Polamalu, especially a Polamalu, because he did everything. He could blitz, he could play the run, he could create a ton of turnovers, and that's what I see Kyle Hamilton possibly being, with having more versatility even than an Earl Thomas, who was an awesome free safety. In my opinion, was as impactful as anyone on those Seahawks teams, and he led the greatest defense of the 2010s, straight up. So that's why I think you can take a safety, because when you have an elite one,
all those safeties were cogs in an elite defense.
No, cogs.
I wouldn't like Earl Thomas. I think like Richard Surf and Brandon Browning, like those guys were also elite. Ed Reed, you had Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs. Like you had like very, very good players around those safeties.
Polamalu was 100% the best player on his defense. I don't think that's super arguable.
Troy Polamalu is an enigma.
I think you could argue Ed Reed was pushing as impactful as Ray Lewis. So it's like, and those are the best defense of all time. Like, yeah, I'm not going to like make the argument that Ed Reed's better than Ray because Ray's awesome. But like, I just think you're underrating how impactful a really good, not really good, an elite game-breaking free safety can be on a team. And I think that's what Kyle Hamilton was in college. So if you think that's what you're going to get, I think you can go with him at number 1.
So you're betting on Kyle Hamilton. There's been maybe we can name 4 generational safety talents in the last 2 decades. Ed Reed, Earl Thomas, Troy Polamalu. That probably is the list. I don't know if you throw in any other safeties who kind of reached that level. In the last 20 years, I'm trying to think.
Okay, I agree.
I
agree.
Hamilton,
there's been 4.
Like, how confident are you that Kyle Hamilton can be that dude?
I personally think there's a chance. And obviously drafting is projecting straight up.
Yes.
But
There's certainly a chance.
But what if like do you not think it's crazy to say what if Aidan Hutchinson you don't think can ever reach the level of the Bosa's? Like
Which I
if you
don't
think he's
so, but
no, I don't I also don't think that. But I don't but what if you didn't? Like then you really don't think
then you
can
go get a
take Hamilton
tackle.
on?
Then you go there are three important positions that I quite frankly just don't think you cannot spend a number one pick on. That's tackle, quarterback, or edge rusher. There's a reason why only those positions have been picked as a number one pick because those are the most impactful positions, the most important positions on a football field. I think if you stick Kyle Hamilton out there in an average Jacksonville defense, it doesn't do much. But if you can get someone like Aidan Hutchinson, pair him up with Josh Allen, and get an elite pass rusher, that's how you make that defense elite. Not just putting back Kyle Hamilton with surrounded by kind of scrubs, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, see, I think that's like if you think Kyle Hamilton can be up there with the absolute greats of the safety world, I think you can totally take him. That's where we disagree. Is you think there's no way in hell you can ever take a safety in the top three. I think when you have a guy who has the potential of a Kyle Hamilton, and if you can shake a defense up like an Ed Reed, like a Troy, I really do think you can take him because it's like when you can take the ball away and you can make it very hard to throw deep with really one guy, I think you change the defense very much.
So I guess that gets into a very reasonable proposition for the Detroit Lions. Aidan Hutchinson goes one to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I think we both agree is probably the pick if you're not going tackle.
Yep.
You're Detroit, Aidan Hutchinson's off the board. Is this your pick, Kyle Hamilton?
Well, of course, I will say it can be. I would maybe still take Kayvon because I think Kayvon's really good. But again, if you don't see Kayvon as I just think if you don't see any of these other guys as like big elite talents, like if you just kind of see them as good and they're not like generationally good, then I think Hamilton's a fine pick, even though he is at I'll admit, a very much a less valuable position.
This is Dale zigging when everyone else is zagging. He likes to go against the grain. Hey, sometimes you're right about trolling. No, but you are noted for being a zigger when people zag. You don't want to go with and which is I think a lot of the viewers respect it. I just think you're a little crazy here.
I feel like that was patronizing, but whatever.
A little bit because it's absolutely asinine that you think Kyle Hamilton can go number one overall. Maybe take pity on you.
You're just there's part of you that's letting your Hutchinson love blind you a little bit, I think.
No, because it would be I would say you have to draft Kayvon Thibodeau or a tackle.
So you think this is a wild pick at two?
Not necessarily with Detroit because there is no quarterback available. They have their tackles kind of locked up. It's definitely not a position in need.
Yeah, okay.
Then you can go get it. And I think this is a reasonable pick. I'm still in favor if this happens to Detroit, maybe looking at a trade down to potentially Seattle who wants to come up and get a quarterback. Because, again, I don't love the idea of taking a safety at the number 1, 2 overall pick. But you make a good point in the sense that Kyle Hamilton could be who's the highest? Jamal Adams and Derwin James are kind of the previous.
I think Buddha is the closest to being the highest impact guy right now.
Well, Jamal Adams was the last guy, went number 4 to the Jets. I believe
he didn't have. I mean, come on, he's not Kyle Hamilton good. He never was.
And that's part of the evaluation process of Kyle Hamilton. We haven't really seen a safety who's 6'4", 220 pounds who can move like him. He is a true unicorn. And that also gives me a little bit more of okay, I can get behind it a little bit just because it is. We just haven't seen it. He certainly could be just an absolute dominant person that you can stick really wherever you want on the defense. Very versatile. Line him up in the box. He can play center field safety. Be great man coverage with the long arms and physicality. I can get behind it. I don't love it, I guess. But I think it's crazy to go Kyle Hamilton number 1 overall.
I mean, I think that's You could argue he's the best. If you think he's going to be the highest impact guy, you can take him. That's my final.
I agree. I agree with that. But there's very rarely. When is the last time we've seen a safety be the highest impact player on a good defense?
Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, arguably Earl.
I don't think Ed Reed was either with Suggs, Ray Lewis, and Haloti Ngata.
I mean, he really splitting hairs. Haloti Ngata.
That was
Haloti Ngata's good.
That was tough.
He is not Ed Reed. Ed Reed, you could argue in that group, I think.
And then you're also falling into the I think the not necessarily fallacy, but the foolishness of saying like, oh, this guy's going to be an absolute like.
Hey, bro, it's called drafting.
This guy's going to be Aaron Donald.
It's all projections. Nobody knows if anyone's going to be any good. We all thought Jadeveon Clowney was going to be generational. He wasn't even close.
But he's
so like for you
he impacts the game hell of a lot more than a safety does.
No, not a good safety. There's impacting more than Jadeveon.
The point is,
can barely find a home.
Safeties in the last 10 years. We haven't seen a safety like the most impactful safety now. What? Maybe Budda Baker, maybe Jesse.
Yeah, but we haven't seen a Kyle Hamilton. Is how I'd respond to that. You just haven't seen a guy who's 6'4", produce like he did in college, 220 pounds, and look like he's everywhere on the field at once. I just don't think you've seen that. Nobody thought Budda Baker was going to be even as good as he is out of college. But if you can get an Earl, if you can get again, I think you might even get something better.
Cardinals defense looking really good because Budda Baker's there.
Yeah, they also had Chandler Jones. So what a good argument, though.
Chandler Jones was. But think about all the best defenses. All the best defenses get after the passer. That's what they do. That's how you have a good defense.
Not the Hawks, Jay. The Hawks really didn't have.
Yeah, but that's because
Averill.
Like 3 generations.
Guy, maybe. Yeah, but if you again, Earl Thomas made that defense because you couldn't throw deep. He could get to every ball if it was past 30 yards. He just could.
Or Richard Sherman.
No, it was not more Richard Sherman who played half a field. You could avoid him. You couldn't avoid Earl Thomas. He was everywhere at once, just like Kyle Hamilton. That's why he's great.
I think the best argument for Kyle Hamilton is we just haven't seen anything like him. And I can get behind it. I just think it'd be wild for the Jacks to go number 1, Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Fine. We'll see. All right, let's move on. I like it. You have any closing remarks here?
No, just again, I'm going to stand by. If you think he's the highest impact player on the draft board, you can take him at 1. That's what I'll say. Hey, positioning needs to be damned.
Well, I guess that's what the crux of it is. Like most of the time, the high impact.
Most.
Players,
you got that right.
Most.
You got that right.
Like when you're playing with the numbers, like you're taking a number 1 overall pick that is like the premier. You can't miss on those.
Yeah, again, you could argue you don't have a Myles Garrett in this class, so you could make that argument too. I wouldn't because I'm a Hutch guy, but
yeah. Well, I don't think Aidan Hutchinson's Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett's on another a little bit of another level, but I think he's more of a Bosa.
That doesn't help your argument.
A little bit. I kind of shot myself in the foot. Houston Texans go get Evan Neal, Laramie Tunsil out of the picture, most likely, and they go with, again, one of the coveted positions, a tackle. You got to protect the quarterback.
Oh, yeah, well, your coveted position.
This is where I think the best home for the for Kyle Hamilton is. It's a position of need, but it's also at 4. I feel a little bit more comfortable taking a safety at 4.
And that would also imply that the 2 edge rushers are probably gone in your favorite tackle potentially. So that's kind of where I.
Yes. Yep. Jermaine Johnson to the Giants. KT?
You can take him over Kayvon.
Take him over Kayvon. See, I'm a Jermaine Johnson stan. Like I love Jermaine Johnson, but I
do too.
Him over Kayvon.
Kayvon's great.
Crazy. And then Charles Cross goes to the Carolina Panthers, who need a tackle. And he's obviously a ROC Boy favorite, as you guys know. Charles Cross. Dog.
They could get absolutely hosed if they don't end up with a tackle. I'd be flustered.
What do you just take a stab at a quarterback, or like
you got to trade back or something?
You have to do something because then they don't pick until like the 4th round, so they could really get hosed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No.
You've already ripped these picks before, but you guys know how.
When Kayvon Walker's on, or Kayvon is on the board, Thibodeau.
And yeah, I think it'd make a lot of more sense for if you're the Giants at 5, take Kayvon Thibodeau, and then if you want to get Trevor Penning, you can.
Unless the tackles weren't rotten off the board. I think you actually take the tackle at 5, personally.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, no.
And then hope you
Carolina Panthers probably aren't going edge, and then you could get
Jermaine.
Or
Jermaine, yep. But that's crazy.
You can't think Charles Cross is worse of a prospect than Trevor Penning. I agree with that.
100%. Yeah.
The Falcons go get Trayvon Walker again. You guys know yes, Trayvon Walker is a physical specimen, but are you going to take a top 8 pick on a guy who hasn't really shown the ability to rush the passer at a high level? Again, when you're taking an edge guy, the most important thing, yes, it's good to be able to like run fast and set the edge and have powerful hands, which he does. Stands up double teams really well, is very good in the run game. Are you going to draft someone who can't get after the passer? It's the whole point of taking an edge defender in the top 10. Trayvon Walker really I think he has the tools to, but I think it's development. And you have Kayvon Thibodeau sitting on the board. Seattle.
People are just forgetting how good his film was, Kayvon, I think.
It's the explanation. I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau will fall out of the top 5. I think the media is pushing this pretty hard. Think like, the sunglasses inside. He's marketing himself with the NFTs.
Maybe he didn't give one of those squares a good enough interview, and they're all sour about it.
And that's the thing is like these players are taught to be just like politicians out there. Like you can't say anything controversial. Kayvon Thibodeau doesn't really go by that beat of the drum. Kind of he's himself.
He just marched to his own a little.
He's a stud.
So good. He's so good.
People just forget that. Maybe the injury, probably I don't really have a great explanation. The Jets go get Jordan Gross. Stingley's available. Sauce Gardner's available. Either one of those is fine. And then also like he's not.
I got 3 wideouts.
Receiver. Like we got 3 wide receivers better than him. I just have serious questions about Drake London. I think there's not a lot of questions with like.
I just think he's a back end of the first round kind of talent. That's kind of. I like the player. I don't think he's bad. There's some really good ones.
Washington Commanders go Tyler Linderbaum again. I say that wherever Tyler Linderbaum goes in the draft, as long as it's like not the top 5, I think
they let Sheriff walk, and now you can.
He's going to be a beast. He's the best center we have evaluated. He's the best center that's been evaluated like out of school. And I think a lot of people made the same argument with Creed Humphrey. Like, he's a center though. Creed Humphrey was freaking awesome at Oklahoma, but he was worth
a first round pick.
And then he goes second. Like I thought he could have gone first overall or first pick to Kansas City late first round. He goes in the bottom of the second round, and he's playing as one of the best centers in the league. Tyler Linderbaum's going to be in that same boat.
Yeah, 100%.
If he falls to the 20s, like someone's getting a steal. Someone's just going to get a steal. Minnesota Vikings go get Sauce Gardner. He's their CB1.
No reason to even talk about that. That's a great pick. That'd be a great pick if they get it.
I'm okay with it. Garrett Wilson of the Browns. I still think they could go get a receiver after they cut Jarvis Landry. You got Amari Cooper. You got Garrett Wilson. There's no reason for Baker Mayfield to fail. And that's kind of what you got.
You got to know. Yeah, it seems high.
Dill is a Jordan Davis.
I'm a Jordan Davis guy, so
I'm kind of indifferent between the two.
Indifferent?
Yeah, I think there's a good argument. Devontae Wyatt's shown that he can rush the passer at a higher level. I think you can teach Jordan Davis to do it. They're both very similar athletes. Jordan Davis is just way bigger.
I don't know. When Jordan Davis was rushing and had energy, he was really good, in my opinion. But
yeah, I do think that's a great argument, though, that the pace of play slows down in the NFL. I think Jordan Davis will be a little bit of a beast. And I think this is growing to be more of a reality. Derek Stingley at 15. That would be an awesome.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
How can that be a reality so good?
Because if Sauce goes if Sauce is CB1, which it sounds like a decent amount of teams are viewing it that way, Stingley could be there at 15.
Yeah, but that's assuming that there were 2 wild card picks. So
yeah, the Jets. If
there were 2 spots, he could easily.
Which the Jets certainly could, because the Jets might be like, we need to help Zach Wilson. We should spend our first 2 top 10 picks should go to help Zach Wilson, And if a CB like him falls, I don't even hate Trent McDuffie there, but if you got a guy like Derek Stingley who can, again,
Oh
I
yeah,
say this
they can
on
get
every
him.
pod.
Like what a gift.
If he put 3 seasons like he did as a true freshman on film, he'd be going Jacksonville. And I don't even like we just had that conversation. We just had that conversation. He could certainly go to Jacksonville. Derek Stingley was more impactful during his true freshman year than Kyle Hamilton was at Notre Dame. What?
I'm not doing. I can't rehash.
Do you believe that?
I think Kyle Hamilton's arguably one of the best defenders in the last 5 years, for sure. Impactful. Yeah.
Is Derek Stingley also in the top 5? As a true freshman.
It's really close. Okay, I can see either way, but I think you'd say either. So
I think you're a little higher on Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I still think you're walking yourself in a little trap there. But
no, I think you just walked yourself into a trap.
No, you did.
The Eagles at 16. Traylon Burks, that's really disgusting.
Olave's on the board.
Olave's on the board, and I think even if Traylon Burks is I think he's such a limited like route tree. You need to scheme him touches so much. Like he didn't show a lot of versatility. It's like he gets the ball in the flat or fly. And
I think you're way too low on Burks. Like I get that he's not Olave or Wilson, but like I didn't kill it in the SEC, and he made big plays, and big plays are important. I think more important than you think they are a little bit in my mind.
I don't know. I just like
big plays are how you put points on the board if you're not like the greatest offense in the world. So that might be the Eagles.
Gotta get the explosives, like Bud Elliott says. Los Angeles Chargers. That's
I love this pick for them.
The Saints go get Jameson Williams. We'll see what Deshaun
depends
Watson
on the quarterback. Depends on the quarterback.
If Deshaun Watson's on the Saints, Jameson Williams, they don't have this pick.
That's right.
And if they don't get Deshaun Watson, I think you take a fly out of quarterback. There's no quarterbacks off the board yet.
Yeah, if Malik's sitting there, it's tough to pass for sure.
And is no, never mind. I was mixing that up.
This is my pick. I love the Eagles picking him
over Jacoby Dean.
I like it, but I think it's close enough where I don't hate it. I'm not gonna rip the pick. I do really like them taking the linebacker.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to hate that a little bit more. I think Jacoby Dean was clearly the best linebacker. I was a couple weeks ago. I was like, okay, I get it. Devin Lloyd a little bit longer, better ball skills. I can see it. But Jacoby Dean was just so clearly the better linebacker on the film, in my opinion. I
agree with that take. I just like the Eagles taking it back.
This would be an awesome. I know they just got
Mr.
Trubisky.
Fun. Yeah, that's not happening with Trubisky, but
it definitely might, because I don't know if you're getting Mr. Trubisky to be your starter. He might.
I think you take a whack at it and get a lineman and see if you can at least, because they're a really good roster if they had a competent quarterback.
And some people say that Matt Nagy just couldn't get Mitch Trubisky going, and that very well.
Matt Nagy doesn't seem like a good coach, so
Matt Nagy is he's a bad coach. It was
bad vibes a little bit.
He's got bad vibes. I agree. The vibes weren't great with Matt Nagy. Patriots go get Chris Olave. This would be a great.
Yeah. They can get him.
I, as a Bills fan, do not want this to happen. I don't want Chris Olave to go to the Chiefs.
I don't need any more Olave ripping me apart. That's all.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. We've seen Olave catch too many touchdowns on us for good.
Torched us 2 years ago, and it painfully bad in Michigan.
Yeah. But I think him going to the Patriots or Chiefs would be a great pick. I think that'd be.
You need Mac Jones.
Dude, if I'm a Chiefs fan, if they get Chris Olave,
it's not going to the Chiefs, dude. They're picking 30th.
I saw it in a mock the other day, and I was like, that's scary. Raiders getting Green. They just got Alex Leatherwood to play. They tried him out of tackle, it didn't work. They had to kick him to guard. I don't know if you go with another interior offensive lineman.
It's another team though that's not that far away.
I think they are now. The AFC West. The AFC, they're You might as well just cut bait. I think the next couple of years, because they ain't compete with the Chiefs or Chargers or not the Broncos. They have
they have Russ Daddy.
I have my head spinning with the free agency. Yeah, the Raiders can't compete. I don't know.
They're everyone in that division's screwed except for maybe the Chiefs and whoever can get second.
Well, it's going to be like the Bills might be able to like lock up the number 1 seed in the AFC for a while.
Just because they beat the wheels off each other.
They'll just knock each other up a little bit. Knock each other up. That didn't sound great. Bang each other up a little bit. That also didn't sound great.
Can you just say like knock around or something?
Yeah. No, that also, I don't know. Maybe my mind is in the gutter.
No, it's not in the gutter. The other two are bad.
But yeah, they definitely like George Karlaftis here, isn't it, Kyle? I'm gonna just stop right there.
Good value.
That's a good value. George Karlaftis I think he's around a top 20 player. You obviously got to replace the edge guys. I think as a predictive mock, they'll go David Ojabo. Like historically, that's what they like. They like the freaks. Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons, like they like the freaks. David Ojabo is much more of a freak than George Karlaftis. Bernie Ryman to the Cowboys. I've seen this. What are your thoughts on that one? I know you're a feel the burn type of guy.
I just don't think he can play guard. So it's like, what's the point?
I think the point
the Cowboys are kind of making a run at it now, I think. I don't think he impacts them a ton right now. That's kind of my point.
Yes. That makes sense. And they are on to make a run because I think the Eagles, the Commanders, the Giants are not good. Like
they're in a horror division and they have
as much as the Joneses are just trying to screw it up. Like I think they're just what happened today with Randy Gregory is an absolute debacle.
Clean it up.
I think Nakobe Dean would be the pick here. I think you get Micah Parsons, Nakobe Dean on that defense. Dan Quinn's going to have.
Yeah, I think that gives you like more immediate punch.
But Bernie Ryman, like I would love to see Bernie Ryman play like right tackle or maybe even guard, but like learn from Tyron Smith. And like I think in 2 years Bernie Ryman might have.
That's just not where the Cowboys are.
Yes, I agree.
I like the idea, but they're not there.
Yep, I agree with that. Your windows now. Your windows absolutely not. I don't even hate. They just got Michael Gallup. I don't know if there's like a wide receiver worth it. Maybe Jahan Dotson.
Not if one of the two don't fall.
If the backers are there, yeah. Or Zion Johnson, I think, is a guy you can plk and play now and make your team better.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills go get Trey McDuffie. This is a lock.
Yeah, that's what we've been calling for.
This is like my wish list. Trey McDuffie to the Bills at 25. I don't know if he'll fall that low. I'm hoping the NFL nerds like say, oh, he's too short, doesn't have the length, he'll fall. If he falls to the Bills, I can't wait for us to win.
It'd be such a gem.
It'd be a gem. 26, Tennessee Titans go get Tyler Smith. They're just he's a powerful dude. I think he led the country in like impact blocks, which is like pancake, big time blocks or whatever. Like he's a very young, raw, powerful dude. They said it.
I wish Tulsa played a little more downhill so you could see it more consistent because they played.
I know you're not a huge fan.
Through every time. Yes.
And I also I think like
you should be taking the Zion Johnson though. I think if you're where the Titans are too, you're taking the immediate impact Zion. I think.
Yes, I agree. And the Tennessee Titans also probably are trying to go back and get to the playoffs. And
yeah, even if you don't think the Titans can do it, but they're in their window. Like they should be gunning.
I wish they didn't sign Ben Jones back because I love the Zion Johnson or Tyler Linderbaum fit there.
Yeah, but they lost Saffold, so they do need to replace an interior guy.
And Tyler Smith, you think he could play guard? I think he could.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. I think he starts at guard personally. I don't think like the tackle. I don't see that yet.
Mike Vrabel would like that guy. Because Tyler Smith's got some.
Yeah, I kind of like this for the Bucs.
I love this for the Bucs. This would be an awesome pick. I think Ryan Jensen soon to announce that he'll be. Oh, Trevor Sikkema was a Tampa Bay fan, so maybe that's. Tom Brady coming back now. Everyone wants to come back.
I think this is where you go.
But Ali Marpet, Alex Kappa. Like Zion Johnson can play guard. He can play center. He can even play tackle. I don't think he'll be a tackler of the league, but he's a blue chip guy that you're the Bucs. You have the best roster in the league probably. You just go try to get 1% better. I think that's what they've been doing. It's been working. Just get some to kind of put you over the edge, and maybe Zion Johnson's that kind of guy. Travis Jones works his way into the top 10 again. I like
tough to not go wide out, but
they released Darius Smith, but they get back Andre Campbell and Preston Smith.
Still have Kenny Clark, so they still have their big dog inside. I don't
Like
know.
Zion Johnson, we both like, or not Zion Johnson, we both like Travis Jones.
But this is another one. It's like he's a bit boomer bust. Like you might not get a great player because the film really wasn't so consistent.
Yes.
And I think the Packers, I've been at the back end of the draft. I think you want your Jahan Dotsons, your
Who was
your
on
Trent McDuffie's, your guys who like you kind of know they're going to come in and be really
in Power 5. I think there's more.
like they might not be all pros.
Jahan Dotson is going to be sick. I think he'd be. Great.
Oh yeah, because you're a length guy.
No, my question mark, the big question mark is Trent McDuffie's. Like the film was awesome. Like people could barely complete passes, but like the Pac-12 is a joke. Like when I watch the film and like people are trying to throw on Trent McDuffie, like it's a joke.
That was easy. That's for sure.
Like the quarterback wide receiver play was just really bad. So that's the question marks I have. Like
fair. Yeah.
John Dotson, you know what you're
I don't know. I just think like I don't see Travis Jones going late first because these all teams want to win now. And I just don't see him.
I think it'd be really funny if the Packers like pass up on the wide receiver again. Especially if
it'd
like
just be trolling Aaron Rodgers. It would be funny.
Yeah. I'd be fine with Aaron Rodgers. You can troll me all you want as long as you pay me that $200 million contract. I'm fine with it.
Tough. Feels like a reach. It feels like a reach. I don't hate
feels like
the
a
player,
reach, but we like the player. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's high.
Because I think there's a serious possibility that
just go linebacker. Like if Nakobe Dean's here, you're taking Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, I think there's a serious you have the I just don't know if Darian Kennard can play.
I'm not sure Darian Kennard's that much better than like a guy you'll get in the second round at where the Dolphins are going to pick. That's all. Like I like Darian Kennard.
Dolphins and Bengals. It's a damn shame because like they both need tackles. Not as much the Bengals. Cause I think they'll address it, but
it is hard
because it's tackle
you can't do it unless you're in the top 7. Really,
I agree. He has tackle guard versatility, but like it's definitely a right tackle, and I still don't know if it'll work for Kennard. As much as I like the player, like I really don't know if he'll be a great tackle.
I agree.
David Ojabo slips.
Expensive. Not going here. He's going to be top 15.
I kind of agree with that.
But I do like the pick if they can get him. It's like
there's going
to take him.
Yeah, there's gonna be one team that likes David Ojabo and is gonna take him in the top 15. I think. I think the Ravens certainly. I would love.
Still think they get more out of a Dax Hiller or Brisker, but whatever.
And they're a team that needs to win now, and I think as much as I don't have too many question marks about David Ojabo coming in and competing right away, Dax Hill I think adds more value to your team, especially with Tyrann Mathieu.
Exactly, because
somebody
still got Frank Clark, so they still have their alpha dog rusher.
Like what Dan Sorensen did, but Dan Sorensen was just not nearly the athlete.
Just do it better,
way better. Like Dan Sorensen stunk. He was horrible.
Granted, they did sign Justin Reed, which I did kind of forget about, but like.
Bengals finally don't get a tackle. I salute you, Trevor Sikkema, for not falling into. It's just like the media narrative that.
Okay, I'll admit I get sucked into that. I always want to take.
They don't need a tackle, especially if
and they can't do it. Yeah, there's no tackle for them. They take the corner, spend the money. Don't spend the money you spend on corner. Spend on it.
Yes.
You turned me on to that. I'll ride with that.
This would be a great pick. This would be an awesome pick for my Detroit Lions. You get Nakobe Dean, Kyle Hamilton.
It's a little unrealistic.
I love the Kyle Hamilton pick, but like Nakobe Dean would be a sick pick. Like you got so much faster and you have so much more playmaking ability on that defense side of the ball. As we go on, like the Lions just need to keep acquiring talent. That's awesome.
You're really catching the Lions fever.
I am full on the Lions fever. I am a Dan Campbell guy. I think they've addressed like certain positions, and now it's more just like they can go after like fun players, like the wide receivers, like the playmakers.
They have a zillion million picks.
As much as I sound like an idiot, like it's fun to go get like a sick edge rusher or a sick linebacker, and you don't have to necessarily address the trenches because you have that covered. Now it's time to go build some speed, build some talent around this roster. They have the draft picks to do it, and I would really love to see them trade out of 2. If there's a team that's willing to come up and really likes a quarterback,
get Kyle Hamilton.
I would.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's trading up for Kyle Hamilton.
That's fair. I agree with that.
But I'm a
Might go one.
I got the Detroit Lions feed.
That might be taken out of your hands.
All right, y'all. Let us know what you think. We especially want to hear a little bit about that Kyle Hamilton, Aidan Hutchinson debate. It was something that Dill and I have gone back and forth for a while now, and we decided to bring it on the podcast. Trevor Sikkema, PFF 2022 NFL mock draft. We appreciate you putting out the content and letting us take a look. We appreciate you guys for watching us. We'll be back with more NFL draft content later. Peace.